Why is everything boring now? Why? É o título do vídeo. Isso aqui, ó.
So think, this is an actual ethos that I have.
Porque todas as coisas estão entediosas agora. Mas você já parou pra pensar? Já parou pra pensar nisso? Que depois que você cresce, parece que muitas coisas ficam... Muitas coisas que é legal ficam... Tá, legal, tá... Tediosa. Bora ver então o motivo, ok? Tá, eu me formei, eu colei grau, tá? Eu colei grau na faculdade e... agora eu tô fazendo pós-graduação. Beijo. Let's go.
Some people are mad at me right now, and it is for a simple reason that I believe in pretty deeply. I'm not disagreeing with the people who are mad at me. I think they're right. But I also think this is an actual ethos that I have. Things should not be optimal. Now, of course, suffering is bad. We should optimize the world for a lack of that. But software companies, for example, have been optimizing everything so much over the last 10 or 15 years that it seems like everything has become the same thing. I get it. It's a competitive world and people have their expectations, and if they don't like what you make, they will go somewhere else. I'm not in favor of bad user experiences, but I am in favor of different user experiences. Like, I was just in Paris for a week, and there's a lot of problems with Paris. I have lived my entire life on grids, and there's great things about grids, and honestly, in Paris, oftentimes I'm like, God, it would be nice if this were a grid. Everyone would be a little less confused, and we'd all get to the places where we're going a little faster. But no one actually wants Paris to be on a grid. The thing that you like about Paris is that it's not on a grid, is that it's weird, is that there's all these weird intersections and the buildings are strange shapes and there's weirdly shaped courtyards inside of the buildings that they've built yet more buildings inside of. There's a thing about the shape of Paris that is organic and human, and there's a thing about the shape of every city I've ever lived in that is almost inhumanly optimized. Because when humans build things with their own taste and with their own aesthetic, it actually isn't optimized, especially at first. And for the people who are leaving Houseman comments right now, I just want you to know that I know, and yet Paris continued to be weirdly organic and human-shaped even after Houseman. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, great. But I'm preempting you with I know. The great thing about new things is that they are not yet optimized. I love this about music. There's so much music that gets its like edges.
Tá, coisa boa são coisas novas, é o que tá falando aqui.
Rounded off as time goes on, and then those people can become more popular. But if you listen to early things, it's just weirder. It is not yet optimized for the broadest audience, and like a little weirdness is just so, I'm sorry, it's just so fucking good. There needs to be way more weird. Neil.fun is a great example of this. Like, what the hell is going on with Neil.fun? I am such a fan. I would love to talk to Neil. I don't know what's going on in that guy's head, and I want to know. One thing I know about like non-optimized and weird things is that they are made for smaller groups of people who love them more. One of my favorite musical discoveries of the last year, Victor Jones, definitely not optimized for everybody, but people who love Victor Jones love Victor Jones, and there's a lot of that now. There's a lot of utility in actually caring about and paying attention to the things you love deeply because they are weird and not just the popular stuff. So like, there's this hipster attitude that I think is kind of annoying, where you can only like something when it's not popular, but there's actually utility in that for artists, for a scene, for creativity, and also for the individual who's enjoying the thing, because you get to find stuff that you like. All of this happening in like the Gilman Street punk scene, where you had like Operation Ivy being too weird for the average person. And then Dookie came out, and Green Day found that perfect balance of having the edge still, but being very mass appeal.
Mano, eu não tô entendendo muita coisa não, cara. Eu não sei se hoje eu tô muito lento, ou o cara tá falando muito rápido, e muitas palavras que eu não compreendo. Hoje tá difícil.
And within what, 3 years? Sum 41? You know, I'm not critiquing Sum 41 in particular, but that kind of punk became like so mass appeal and so clean that if you don't actually like see the places where it went, there's no connection from Operation Ivy to Sum 41, but obviously there is. I've observed this from the outside, and I've been lucky to have been a part of it from the inside. Like, Vlogbrothers is less popular than Hank's channel. And look, I'm not here saying that Hank's channel is like very polished, but it is for a broader audience than Vlogbrothers. Vlogbrothers has a huge barrier to entry, but that's what makes it so good. The best example, I remember starting VidCon, and it was so weird. It was so dingy and in a basement. And now, of course, it very much isn't weird anymore. But in the beginning, when almost no one was going, that was when it was kind of the best because no one knew what it was. And the only people who would show up for a thing were the ones who were like deepest in and like ready to take a risk. Was VidCon a concert? Was it a networking event? Was it a fan con or an industry conference or like a family reunion for people who had never met each other? It was all of those things and it was none of those things, and nobody knew what the hell was going on, and we couldn't make any money off of it because everyone was so confused, but it was so good. I'm saying, and I'm going to make a case here at the end to try out a specific weird new thing. But like the big message is please try to make weird things and please try to love weird things. Find the things that have not been smoothed over by being sandblasted by reality. Find the things that you love and indulge in them and please try and make weird things. And that's what happens when you have to get big. You get sandblasted by reality. Now, I'm sure that there are lots of big artists that you can name who have not had this happen or for whom like their shape from the beginning was just well suited to reality. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm sure that that is true. What I do want to say is that sometimes new things are not weird, they're bad. So like being bad is not the same as being weird. You can know so little about how to create a thing in a space that everything breaks. And the only interesting thing at the event is a ball pit, which is just a blow-up pool full of balls in the middle of an empty room. You can have an event where there aren't enough bathrooms and everybody's lined up in a parking lot for hours with no protection from this blazing sun. So the thing actually has to be good. It has to like, the logistics of it have to function. But the most special times are when a thing is good but also not yet optimized. And that is often when things are brand new, though not necessarily. People hold on to their weird for sure. 4x3 right now, people like get mad when the game gives them negative points for doing something that there's no clear written rules about, but like, I don't know, to me, and I'm the person making this thing, having a weird, surprising thing happen to you is just better than getting an average number of points for doing something normal. They're points. They don't exist. You're not getting a sunburn. You don't have to pee when you can't.
Mano, é sério, eu não tô... Nossa, que estranho, eu não tô entendendo muita coisa. Geralmente eu entendo bastante até, comparado a o que eu tô vendo.
Find a bathroom, you just got like a weird win card. That's good. The reason I started thinking about this is because right now, the Complexly team and I are planning a thing, and we don't quite know what's going to be. We know it's going to be good, but we don't know what it's going to be. I'm going to tell the whole story of how this came to be on Vlogbrothers on Friday. But the thing that I want to say right now is if you can come to this thing, and you might not be able to, and that's fine, but if you can come to this thing, you should. If you look at the website and you think like, I don't actually know what that is, I'm going to give it like a little while, like a year to figure out what it's going to be, and then I'm going to go after it. You're going to be missing the weird. First year events can be a catastrophe. I'm not worried about that. But when they aren't catastrophes, they're weird. And the fact that everyone in the room is the kind of person who takes a risk on a first year event makes them even more special. We're doing an event. It is a fundraiser for Complexly. Complexly is a nonprofit that makes SciShow and Crash Course and a bunch of other educational stuff online. We're having presentations and talks from amazing people like Mark Rober and Chan Boudram and Simone Yetch and astrophysicist Katie Mack and Madeline Leembruggen and Callie Moore and Craig Benzine and Abigail Thorne and Winna Liu, who writes Connections. I have asked these smart people to talk about things that make them hopeful. That is kind of an organizing principle of the content, because I want to hear more smart people talking about hope. Also, Hank Green is going to be giving a talk he's been working on for like 6 months. There's going to be some live music. There's going to be at least one game that I'm not allowed to know about. There are going to be things that work at this event. There's going to be things that don't work, and we absolutely are going to be experimenting on the audience who decides to come to this. But also, it's functioning as a fundraiser for Complexly and for our mission of creating high-quality educational content on an internet that desperately needs it. And so the ticket prices are high. The base level is $500, and it is at a very cool venue in Los Angeles. So most people, I know, I'm telling you this, and the big message from this video is find weird things, make weird things. They do still have to be good, but there is utility in the vibe of the hipster. We should not just denigrate it. But as far as this event goes, the vibe is better if there are all sorts of people. So there are some free tickets that you can apply for. They have been sponsored by some donors, including myself, but only if you are already in Southern California, because we cannot afford flights or hotels for people. There's information about all of this. There's a link in the description, somethingworthknowing.org. We are far enough from it to say it. The hipsters had something right.
Mano, era anúncio, cara. Uma propaganda e eu não notei. Olha que doideira, eu tô... Nossa.
Real utility for the person, for the artist, for the culture in the hipster mentality of being early to a thing and taking the risk and finding the stuff that is good but not optimized. And it's nice to be on the edge of something, to see it before success and contact with reality has softened all of the edges and optimized the menus. And like, look, I have no idea how fast or if this thing is going to sell out. So if you could afford it, get your tickets now so my team can stop sweating in fear. And if you can't afford it but can safely drive home from it and sleep in your own bed that night, apply to attend, and some donors, including myself, might get you your ticket for you. And if there's weird stuff that you know about, that you love, that still has its edges, let's all jumble up in the comments and share that stuff. Let's play Connections. Whoa, no, God, no, no, God, no, no. What's this?
Nossa, para de gritar.
Nonsense. This is terrible. Drinks, a Long Island and champagne. Are drinks named for places? Casablanca, Indianapolis. Indianapolis is known for nothing. Cologne is a liquid that's named for a place. Casablanca, famously a movie. There's a Moscow Mule. Fargo is a city in America.
É o que eu pensei, Moscow Mule, a bebida.
Indianapolis, Fargo, and Chicago are cities in America. That can't be it. Long Island is, I guess, a city in America. The best thing I have is drinks or liquids named for places. Obviously, cologne is not a drink, but it's a liquid. Casablanca makes me feel like there's something that's movie in here, or something that's pop culture in here, or starts with a word for house, casa. Okay, we're gonna guess this. And we were not one away. Oh God. Are there other movies on this list? Chicago is a movie. Moscow, Fargo is a movie. So Long Island is not a movie. Nigeria is not a movie. Cologne is not a movie. Indianapolis is not a movie. Limerick might be a movie. Munich might be a movie. This is a puzzle, winner. I told you to be meaner and you've puzzled too close to the sun. This one is very mean. Champagne, I guess, could also be a movie. Moscow could be a movie.
Mano, eu não tava entendendo nada do vídeo, aí agora eu não tô entendendo mais nada também, porque ele começou a jogar um jogo de criar grupos de 4 coisas. Mano, hoje eu tô perdido.
This is a category, though. And I just don't know the other one. So let's look at the Champagne Cologne one. Limerick also is primarily not known as Limerick. I actually did a 4x3 category somewhat similar to this, and I chose to not use China because it is more known for being China than it is for being China. More known for the country than it is for the dishware. But it is also another thing. So if I did that and I didn't get 3, then that would indicate that it's China. Casablanca is mostly a movie. That's not it. I'm not going to get purple first. I've given up on that. Oh my God, I got the yellow, everybody.
Coisas nomeadas depois de lugares.
Okay, does that help me with this other one? So now I have Casablanca, Fargo, Chicago, Munich, Cuba, Long Island. It could be a bunch of these. Except for Long Island and Moscow, which are the beginnings of drinks. And now that champagne is out of there, like, are any of the rest of these drinks? Maybe. I wouldn't know. Nigeria, probably not. Fargo, no, because it's one of the movies. So it's not Casablanca, Chicago, or Fargo. There's no drink named for Indianapolis. But Cuba, maybe. Munich, maybe. I've got some guesses here, so I can take the risk. Cuba sounds more like a drink than Munich. Am I gonna brute force my way through this connection?
É, eu acho que Casablanca deve ter uma bebida chamada Casablanca, porque é um nome legal. Casablanca.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. Oh my God! Munich! What's Munich? I don't know. That's
Casablanca, acertei.
huge. Okay, great. We can do it. I feel like we're going to do it because we've got Moscow and Long Island. It's not Guinea-Bissau. Dominican Republic and Cuba, maybe. Cuba and Singapore. Like, there's 3 here that it could be. And I have 3 guesses. So I got it. Most messed up way to get connections of all time. I don't drink very much, though I used to. I feel like Cuba definitely. And then we're going to have to guess. I mean, it can't be any of these. Like, Indianapolis, I'm sorry. Do not have a drink named after you. And Dominican Republic is a little long for the title of a drink. A Singapore something. Yeah, sure. That sounds like it could be a thing. Oh my God. I have no idea what any, like, the Cuba or the Singapore one is. And I have no idea what this is. But I got it.
Ah, não, Casablanca não é bebida não, pô. Winner é novidade, é vencedores, eu tô doido. Eu li como se fosse vinho.
I got it. Only getting one. That's starting with countries. What does that mean? Dominica. That's. I mean, okay, that's kind of genius. But you had to make the other ones easier. That was so hard. What is this gonna have? Like a 4% success rate? Guinea.
Ah, começa com países Dominican Republic, Guiné-Bissau, aí Indianápolis, Nápoles.
Also India and Niger. That's amazing.
Cara é doido, velho.
That's amazing. That's an amazing category. Like, none of the rest of them fit into the yellow, so that's like, except for maybe Long Island. Okay, let's see how the world did at this. It's definitely a 5 out of 5. Oh my God, only 58% of people didn't. I feel like I just got it. Like, that was 100% luck. Today's 4x3 is fun. And also easy. It is testing among the easiest of the puzzles I've made. Though, you know, some people won't know. Wow, straight 31%, and then very few purple firsts. Bar drinks? Yeah. No, I was thinking liquids. Oh, God. All right. Well, links in the description.
Mano, gostei do vídeo, tá? Ainda mais essa última partida jogando um joguinho de pensar. Só que eu não entendi quase nada, cara. Não entendi. Eu vou ser sincero com vocês que eu não entendi quase nada. Talvez eu vou ter que assistir esse vídeo mais vezes. Provavelmente eu não vou assistir, tá? Eu falo isso, mas não... vou ter que estudar mais, cara. Porque eu não entendi nada. Eu não sei se hoje eu tô um pouquinho mais lento, ou ele tava falando muito rápido, ou tava usando muitas palavras e expressões que eu não conheço. Mas enfim, não entendi muita coisa não. Mas é isso. Valeu a tentativa, tá?